Hey guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review of VH1's Family Reunion Love and Hip Hop Edition Season 2, Episode 3, called They Found Love in a Hopeless Place. Okay, taking lyrics from Rihanna. Whatever, I digress. Okay, we're gonna get right into it. So we're still at the field day. Now all the guys, mainly the guys, are playing the flag football, and Safar's talking in the confessional saying, him and Erica, they just been baby swapping and not really talking. So, it's kind of awkward that they're just going to give each other their space. He's just going to let her sit over there, do what she do. He going to be on this side doing what he do, playing with the guys and whatnot. Um, and pretty much, I guess the purple team done won. So they won like the whole field day. Everybody talking about, oh, no, they ain't win. They was cheating and all that stuff. At the end of the day, well, it is what it is. It's for fun anyways. Because I don't think no prize was given. So who cares? But anywho, I guess Mimi's the therapist of the season because she already done talked to Cisco. Did she talk to somebody else? I'm not sure. But anywho, Safari goes to talk to her about the whole situation with Erica. So Mimi was just, giving her advice like, you got to, respect each other and find a way to make it work. Safari fake crying and whatnot, trying to look like he's in distress and whatnot, and putting on his little coarse voice and whatnot. And I'm just like, Safari, please, I don't got the time today, okay? It was a long day at work today for me. So I'm like, Safari, please don't come to me with this foolishness, shenanigans, all that. But he done try to cry. Mimi gives him a hug to console him and all that stuff, saying, you just gotta find a way, you just gotta respect each other. Because then she brings up, her and Stevie J, me, my baby's father, we did. Yes, she says she's at peace. She's okay. We're happy for you, Mimi. I'm just ready to get to the next scene. I'm like, field day is about to be like a whole 2 episodes. Can we move on, please? But anywho, he was like, all right, cool. He's going to try to talk to her or whatnot. Amina, I don't know if it was Amina or Peter, but they said the divorce party is that same night. So I'm like, okay, cool. And so, Erica's talking to the camera, to the confessional about something or whatever about the day. Mm-hmm. Safari done showed up, just pops up. He's like, we need to talk. Erica's like, can I at least finish this first? And Safari's like, no, we need to talk. So I guess he's just like, I guess he was going to try to be cool, calm, collected, but I guess being there and on the spot, since he made himself be on the spot, he was kind of just like a dramatic ass pause, and he was just like, what's going on with you? Like, I feel like I don't even know you anymore. And she's like, same here. I don't know who you are. And she even said that in a confessional too. So, she's just like, I think we just need to focus on co-parenting, focus on the kids, stay focused on that, and not even worry about us right now. Safari looked a little bit hurt, and it was just like, all right. Looked like he didn't want that to happen. But I guess but you're not saying nothing, Safari. You gonna be looking all hurt and stuff that she wants to stay focused on the kids after all the ish that y'all had going on with each other. But if you're not voicing it and saying okay, then that's what it's gonna be. Clearly he gonna say something later on in the episode, but anywho, he looks hurt but agrees. So then everybody gets on the bus, they get back to the hotel, resort, or whatever, and I guess Mimi has something set up for them to do, like a little picnic at the pool. They had like Jersey Mike's. So everyone's hanging out at the pool after the field day. And Cisco goes talk to Amina, talking about like he says this in the confessional, but then also says it to her face to face that he thinks Amina's using him to either make Peter jealous or he said something else, to make her jealous or something else. And she was like, either way, it's his fault for entertaining it. But at the end of the day, Cisco like, you already did something like 2 years ago, so it's on both parts. Amina's messy by telling Peter in the first place from last episode of what I said, but at the same time, like Cisco, yeah, you're right, you entertaining it too. Both of y'all just, whatever, y'all need to stop. Just like Rich said, y'all need to stop, even though Rich, like, what are you doing? with Erica, he want. I don't know if he necessarily want that old thing back, but he definitely want to fuck again. That is what I'm taking from his body language and the way he been acting around Erica these past couple episodes. So Amina denies it, but her again, I'm looking at her kind of sideways, just like I was looking at Cisco kind of sideways. Amina, I'm looking at you kind of sideways because you deny anything in person. But then in the confessional, you act in a whole different type of way, saying like, we just made out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't do nothing, just made out. And then she's just like, am I gonna hook up with Cisco? No, 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 I'm not gonna hook up with Cisco. I'm not gonna hook up with Cisco. I'm just like, so you wanna fuck too? I'm pretty sure if you were to listen, if she would have gave it up to Cisco, Cisco would probably gladly take it. Even to this day. To this day, if she would have given it up to Cisco, he probably would entertain it. He'd be talking about it's his fault for entertaining it and all that stuff. But you probably still would fuck if she would offer up the pussy. If she would lay like on this counter right now, if Cisco was sitting where I was, and Amina was sitting right on here, right in front of him, and open her legs and nothing's. Cisco would have ate her out just like what's that dude name from Love and Hip Hop Miami? Ate that one girl out, Debbie, on the pool table. That's exactly what would happen between Cisco and Amina. So whatever. I'm not even okay. So after he done talked to Amina, Cisco goes over to Rich, and then Rich is just like, you gotta stop doing that shit, bro. Stop stirring the pot. And I'm just like, Rich, you want to talk, okay? But we're gonna move on from them, okay? Because everything is just come jumbled into one scene. So after they had a little chitty chit chat, maybe since that was Safari and Erica to I guess talk and try to hash things out, I don't know, and they kind of start bickering. Because they trying to go back and forth about what's been going on or how did they get to where they're at now of not talking and being in so much distress. So first they talk about the whole situation at Safari's birthday party and Bobby's little friend or whatnot. So and then they go to the abandonment. But as they're progressing their conversation to the abandonment of it all, whatchamacallit, they start bickering back and forth and they're getting kind of a little loud. So, of course, everybody's kind of looking like what's going on over there. Brooke come over. Marcus come over. They I don't know if they were there to diffuse the situation because they didn't really diffuse the situation. But they still going back and forth. Pretty much Erica heard that Safari done abandoned her. She's only 2 months postpartum. 2 months postpartum. He done abandoned her, especially when she was like in the hospital about to give birth. He in Miami living it up. They get to flashbacks of the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And pretty much he's just like, no, he's getting loud, she getting loud, all right? Brooke tells Safari to get up and go with Marcus. Now, in my personal opinion, I'm just like, the way Erica and Safari be, this is nothing new. The way Erica be, we've seen her on plenty of seasons of Love and Hip Hop, all franchises at this point. This ain't nothing new in her realm of life, but at the same time, I'm not a person that's gonna be trying to argue in front of people like that. That's something we're gonna say behind closed doors. Not that I really try to argue like that, but at the same time, I ain't gonna be going back and forth with you in front of people, let alone in front of cameras. But this is what y'all do. This is what you give entertainment for the folks. But that's not something I do. But anywho, yeah. As Erica started crying and stuff about, all the trials and tribulations she got going on. As he was walking away, she said something about Bobby's friend. So I guess since Bobby heard his name being called out, he's like, what she said? Bobby what? And I'm Bobby, sit back down in the jacuzzi with Zell's ass. This ain't got nothing to do with you at this point, okay? Kind of, but not really. So then Marcus is talking to Safari, probably like maybe 20 feet away. And Marcus is just trying to explain to him, like, listen, she's not no threat. She's just loud because she's hurt. Shakana comes and intercepts and, tries to kind of explain the same thing, and how Erica has a lot of abandonment issues. So the fact that, he probably upped and left is probably why she's so triggered. But then Safari's explanation on his side is just like, listen, I'm not leaving to leave to abandon her and the kids. Is this everything? Our arguments get so ugly, I have to leave because I'm not trying to be there when all that happening with police coming over and whatnot and things being thrown. And granted, I can understand that, Safari, but at the same time, if she's gonna take that as abandonment, you gotta explain to her like what the reason is. But I feel like he doesn't even really try to explain. Like, I feel like Safari's the type of person who has so much feelings and what he really feels on the inside, but he's not gonna broadcast what those feelings are. He's just gonna take whatever's thrown at him and just be like, all right, cool, fuck you then. Fuck you, bye, I'm out. But it's like, you gotta learn how to communicate, just as Erica. Everything doesn't have to be, I understand she'd be upset and hurt and all that stuff, but everything don't have to be like a fuck you, it is throwing things and stuff. Because at this point, listen, I understand she a female, but if roles were reversed, we all know we wouldn't be having that if a man were to be throwing shit and doing all cursing and yelling. So at the same time, Erica, you gotta calm it down a little bit. Safari, you need to speak out a little bit. Not to the point of like bickering and stuff with Erica like you be doing, but like in a mature, calm way, you need to let out what you are feeling also. That's just my personal opinion. But Erica done cried and stuff when she's, venting and all that stuff. And meanwhile, probably another 20 feet away, here goes Rich and Cisco talking. And Rich said, I don't know if Rich was, a little loose here too. I feel like Rich is the type of person, he could drink every day and just be loose every day. But he said something to the effect of like, listen, once she ready to come back to a nigga like me, just say the word. He didn't say that word for word. I'm just paraphrasing. He like, she could come back over to me. And then Cisco like, that. That's like, come on, bro. Like, the man's right there crying over his wife. That's like, how you gonna say something like that? So then Rich looking at him like, you want to talk what you and Mina got going on and stuff. And then Rich, I don't think it was this scene. I think it was a scene prior. He was like, he wanted to be a fly. He wished he could be a fly on the wall and stuff. Like, Rich, okay, well, don't you got somebody else to entertain? Ain't you talking to somebody else right now anyway? Ain't you gonna be on a reality show with said person that you're talking to right now in probably a few weeks or whenever the new season comes? I don't know. I haven't watched that show in a long time, so I don't even. But Rich, focus on other stuff. Let Safari and Erica focus on whatever they got going on, because at this point, we as America don't even know. So, anywho, Cisco calls Rich foul, and like I said, Shakana, I was gonna call Shakana goes talk to Marcus on the side for a little bit so they can make a pact to like get Safari and Erica back together. Marcus is like, I ain't gonna do all that because I can't promise nothing. I can't guarantee nothing. So Shakana was like, but they need to sit down and talk, blah, 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 blah. Marcus agreed, like, yeah, they need to have a conversation. So I guess that's what he agreed upon, but Shakana was really getting him to be like, okay, we're going to make this pact to get them back together. And then, good intentions, Shakana, but at the same time, we can't force somebody to get back together. I'm not forcing nobody to get back together. I can only let you know, like, listen, it's up to you of what you want out of this. Do you want to stay together? If you want to stay together, you got to make it work. If you don't want to stay together, then that's it. Let it be. So I'm not one to try to force people to get back together, but at the same time, I'm going to let you know, like, here's the pros and cons if you ask me, but I'm not going to intercept and, but I get this is for the TVs and reality shows and whatnot, but it wouldn't be me. So, before we end this little picnic whatnot thing going on, Brooke goes to talk to Booby. And she wants to know what's going on between him and Sin. He's just like, hey, ain't nothing really going on, right? You know how he be talking. Ain't nothing really going on, we just talking, We just talking for right now. We flirting and stuff, but ain't nothing else really going on. I know, and then he goes into confession. I know people talking about, Brooke, and me. We have a very close friendship relationship. And so I know how she is, so it's all good. We friends, we cool. We go way back, and then that does the all flashbacks of the Hollywood season and whatnot. So I'm just like, okay, I guess they just needed to fit in another like 2-3 minutes to fit into this episode. So whatever, we know how Brooke be at this point. So we get to the 70s themed divorce party. Everybody coming out, the guys come out first, and they looking okay, I guess. 70s theme. Rich looked hella old. Let me tell you, Rich already looked old without this gear on, but with this gear on, he was looking hella old. I'm like, Rich. Okay. But Safari comes down. He's not even in 70s attire, really. And immediately starts crying. He's saying he's down because his family's in shambles. He didn't say that word for word. I'm just paraphrasing all that he done said. But he's down because his family's in shambles, and he hates that Erica keeps painting this picture of him that he's abandoning his family. But we already dealt with this in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta this past season, like a couple months ago. So I'm not trying to delve into that again. Because at the end of the day, y'all get back together, right? Like, y'all still together right now, right? So there's no, I already said everything I really needed to say in the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta last season. Okay. So, but he feeling down, he's not at his usual straight self. So everyone's kind of comforting him and whatnot. And I guess to make things get better, because I'm not going to delve into that because he said he was his kids all the time. Okay, cool. So Cisco, I think, was already out. Peter was already out. Rich finally comes out. And Peter proceeds to ask Safari, because Safari made a mention of something about the fight. So then Peter was like, who do you think won? And then Cisco was just like, here we go again. Every time this nigga do this shit. So I guess Peter was just joking. I guess this is the point where they just kind of do dap and make up. So I guess that's cute or whatever. Because, they're going to be a creep squad forever, for life. Thank you, Peter, for establishing that with America. Thank you for letting us know something that we already know. But Erica, Mimi comes out. I guess they're the first females to come out to the party. And Erica was just like, I just want to have a good time. I already going to have a lot of shit to deal with when I get back home. So I just want to be on good, time and have good vibes. So, of course, it's a little awkward when she comes out there. Safari looking at her. She looking at Safari. Okay. We move on. So everybody coming out now, to have fun, having a little divorce party, whatnot. Mimi talks with Jonathan, or Jonathan goes to talk to Mimi. I don't know. And, of course, like I said, Mimi says she's at peace. She's doing great. Jonathan brings up that he's still bothered and triggered by what Zeldin said about him being too gay. Little good boys look up to him, and they have to deal with that fight every time about people calling them too gay. Mimi said, being with the female at this point in time, she can see both Zell's side and both Jonathan's side. And Jonathan brings up the fact again, like, what if I were to tell you, like, you're too black and you need to take those Bantu knots out? You wouldn't like that. And, Mimi understood what he was saying. And I said it from last week. I understand exactly what Jonathan's saying. I'm not part of the LGBTQ community. But at the same time, I have friends that are part of the LGBTQ community. And I can definitely, is it sympathize or empathize? I think it's sympathize. Definitely sympathize with Jonathan and understand what he's trying to say. And for those who are like, nah, he's wrong for saying, like, what if I were to say you're too black? Listen, I know that's going to be triggering for some folks, but for me, I didn't see it as triggering, just as the fact that being gay is a part of Jonathan's identity at this point. So just as a black person can say they identify as black, Jonathan could say they identify as gay. And him being too gay, that's him. You may see it as too gay, but Jonathan sees it as, that's just my personality. I'm full of life. Listen, I'm not here to debate nothing, but at the same time, Zell, you need to figure out what the hell you want to do with your life. And even Mimi said he's battling something internally, that he's trying to figure out. He's telling Shakana he wants to be straight, telling Erica he want to have kids and stuff like that. So he's battling something, and Jonathan just feels like that's still not right though. And it's not Jonathan, it's really not. But at the same time, everybody not gonna be right to you. Whether you're gay, straight, anything, people won't say the little silly comments, and at the end of the day, it just depends on what you answer to, how you react to that. If they want to act like that, if they want to be that nigga and just, get mad at you because you're being your best self and being yourself, whereas he's trying to figure out who the hell he is, that's something that Zell got to figure out himself. In the meantime, you keep doing you at the end of the day. So, moving on, Peter and Amina, they were talking. I wasn't really listening to the conversation, to be honest with you, because I'm just like, I don't really know these people. I know these people, but I don't know these people because I don't watch the Love and Hip Hop New York. So I was just like, okay, this conversation about them talking about they just, you know, great friendship and all that stuff post divorce. They're at where they were in the beginning of the relationship and all that stuff, the good vibes. So that's cute, that's nice, guys. That's nice. I really don't care. That's nice though. But but in the midst of them conversing of this, having this conversation, I'm just like, this is where the producers, they don't put stuff in chronological order, clearly. Because while they were talking, I'm looking in the background of what's going on because I really didn't care what the conversation was going on. And I see Safari, hugging all up on Erica in the background and shit, and he kissing up on her and shit. And he got Marcus and Shakana like smiling and watching them and shit. Of course, it was a little blurry in the background, but I knew who was who, and I seen what was going on. And I'm just like, oh, so they faking this for the cameras? They faking the funk for the cameras? What's going on here? But I guess, like I said, producers just didn't put the scenes in chronological order because next scene, we have Erica sitting in the back by herself, Safari sitting like a few feet in front of her. He gets up, goes back there to talk to her, and Erica talking about in the confessional, she 85% tapped out. We don't believe this, Erica. None of America believes this. But she 85% tapped out. She knows that he was like drinking alcohol, and I guess Safari don't drink alcohol. Okay. But she was like, oh, you're drinking alcohol. You never drink alcohol. And he's just like, oh, I had to do something. Then he starts crying. His voice starts getting coarse and shit. He's just like, I don't know what to do. He didn't say that, but, so you can see that his voice was getting like in a cry tone type of, all right. But anywho, he starts crying. And, he's just distraught because, he done lost his family. And Erica's just like, well, you're the one who left and whatnot. Listen, they go back and forth. Can I summarize this? I put a whole paragraph for this. I put a whole paragraph. He don't want to lose Erica. Because Erica was like, why don't we just focus on the kids? And he's just like, but I don't want to lose you. And then Erica's just like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Oh my gosh. And then she started crying. Because first she was just like, so she started crying. So now they both crying. And Bobby's messy ass, he's talking with Peter and Zell, and he's just like, oh, Safari's just very emotional today. He's like, and then Peter was like, oh, why you say that? He's like, he's crying over there with Erica again right now. Bobby, shut up. Can you focus on yourself? Like, I laugh, but I'm just like, Bobby, please focus on yourself right now, okay? But anywho, Erica pulls Safari into a hug, so they hug and whatnot, and Safari said he loved Erica, whatever. And she's like, you sure? How are you sure of that? And, Safari's like, it's just a feeling, it's just a feeling. So I guess they stand up, they hug again, and, does Safari say something? Oh, yeah. When they hugged again after they stood up, Safari apologized. I'm sorry for everything I did. He started crying again. Not that they stopped crying, really, but he started crying again. Then, she tried to hide her face and start crying and shit. And she's just like, she just wants a healthy friendship and get back to where they were before. And I'm just like, I think you guys are. So I don't know. Just stay together because y'all both got two kids, and y'all don't got no. Well, no, she does have another kid after that. Where that kid at? Where your first son at, Erica? Where your first son at? I asked that in not Hollywood, but the Atlanta season. Where your first son at, Erica? Hmm? But anyway, y'all got two kids and all that stuff, and y'all got a lot of growing up to do. Maybe y'all need to go to counseling or something. I don't know. But congratulations, because you guys seem like you're back together. But goes to commercial for dramatic effect, comes back from commercial. Erica and Safari, now they all good, I guess, because now they flirting and stuff. Erica showing him her ass. Safari looking like he's smiling and happy and shit. And they were sharing, feeding each other cake and whatever and all that stuff. So they were good. Amina and Peter do a little toast for their divorce and how they're good. Bobby wants an interlude, put in his 2 cents, saying, that's amazing that you guys were able to like be so cool after this divorce and whatnot. That's amazing. So, you know, it seems like everything goes well. And then the only last thing I put that made me laugh was Joel saying that Booby looked like Easy E, dressed up as Easy E. And when it finally panned over, well, it didn't pan over to Booby, but I seen him in the background. I'm like, he do. That's yep. Jewels, you ain't never lied. But anyway, that's the end of this episode 3. I don't know how many more episodes there is left, but let me know what you thought about because the only thing I take from this episode is really Erica and Safari. So, are you exhausted with their relationship just as I am? Because I'm over it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.